Benign epithelial lesions of the breast. These are divided into three groups according to the risk of developing breast cancer. The three groups are non-proliferative breast changes, also called as fibrocystic changes. Next is proliferative breast diseases without atypia. And the third group is proliferative breast diseases with atypia. These are the three groups of benign epithelial lesions of the breast. First, let's see about the non-proliferative breast changes, that is the fibrocystic changes of the breast. They do not have the risk for carcinoma breast and they primarily affect TDLU. TDLU stands for terminal ductal lobular units. As the name suggests, it consists of fibrous diseases and cystic diseases of the breast. First is cysts. The cysts can be microscopic or they can even be grossly visible. They contain turbid, cloudy yellow and semi-translucent fluid, and some cysts appear brown or blue in color, so they are called as blue dome cysts of Bloodgood. Microscopically, the cysts are lined by flattened atrophic epithelium or by metaplastic apocrine cells. And next is apocrine metaplasia. This is most often seen in dilated ducts and in the cystic structures. The apocrine cells have abundant cytoplasm which is granular and eosinophilic, and it has round nuclei with prominent nucleolus. So these are the apocrine metaplastic cells. And the apical portion of the cytoplasm shows typical apocrine snout. So these are the apocrine cells having granular eosinophilic cytoplasm with prominent nucleus and nucleoli, and this is the apocrine snout. Next is calcification. This is less common and it lines bottom of a rounded cyst, and the mammogram shows milk of calcium. Next is fibrosis. The fibrosis is usually seen in variable degrees. Chronic inflammation, fibrosis and hyalinization contribute to the firmness of breast during palpation. Next is adenosis. Adenosis is increase in number of acini per lobule, and the acini are often enlarged. These are called as blunt duct adenosis, and the acini are lined by columnar cells which may appear benign or show atypical features like flat epithelial atypia. Next is lactational adenoma. This develops as palpable masses in pregnant or lactating women. It shows normal appearing breast tissue with lactational changes, and this lactational adenoma represents an exaggerated local response to gestational hormones. So we have seen about the non-proliferative breast changes, which are fibrocystic changes. Coming to the proliferative breast diseases without atypia. Here there is proliferation of ductal epithelium and or stroma without cytologic or architectural features of carcinoma in situ. So there is only proliferation without changes seen in carcinoma in situ. Morphology. First is epithelial hyperplasia. This is characterized by presence of more than 2 layers of cells. So normally it consists of 2 layers of cells. One is myoepithelial cells, which is the outer layer, and the inner luminal layer. Here there are presence of additional cells which have both luminal and myoepithelial cell types, and these additional cells fill and distend the ducts and lobules. Epithelial hyperplasia can be mild when there are 3 to 4 epithelial cells in thickness, moderate to florid when it is more pronounced, that is more than 4 epithelial cell thickness, and it can be atypical. Next is sclerosing adenosis. As the name suggests, it is a form of adenosis. That is, the number of acini per lobule is increased and at least double the number found in uninvolved lobules. The normal lobular arrangement is maintained and there is more cellular centrally than peripherally. So there is more cellularity in the center. The acini are compressed and distorted in the center, whereas they are dilated at the periphery. Next is papillomas. The papillomas consist of multiple branching central fibrovascular cores which are lined by luminal and myoepithelial cells. The papillae grow within a dilated duct. Epithelial hyperplasia and apocrine metaplasia is seen, and the papillomas are usually single in large duct and they are found in lactiferous sinus of the nipple, and the papillomas are usually multiple in small ducts, single in large duct, multiple in small ducts. Large papillomas usually present with nipple discharge. Next is complex sclerosing lesion. Its components include sclerosing adenosis, papillomas, and epithelial hyperplasia. All these three are combined together in complex sclerosing lesion. Next, coming to the proliferative breast diseases with atypia. It resembles carcinoma in situ. This proliferative breast diseases with atypia includes two main diseases. One is atypical ductal hyperplasia and the next is atypical lobular hyperplasia. In atypical ductal hyperplasia, it consists of a monomorphic proliferation of regularly spaced cells. It resembles DCIS, that is ductal carcinoma in situ, but it is distinguished from it by being limited in extent, only partly filling the ducts. So it only partly fills the ducts. Next is atypical lobular hyperplasia. Here there is cellular proliferation which is identical to those of lobular carcinoma in situ, LCIS, but the cells do not fill or distend more than 50% of the acini within a lobule. The cells do not fill or distend more than 50% of acini within a lobule. This is about atypical ductal and atypical lobular hyperplasia. That's all about the benign epithelial lesions of the breast. Thank you.